Hello students, in this tutorial we're going to review some text effects. The last time that we did some text effects, it was actually on top of a picture. This time we're going to do it just on top of a regular background layer. So first thing I want to do is just choose kind of a random gray color just so we can see what we're doing, but it's not quite as boring as white. With the horizontal type tool, I want to remind you that you can make a box. You can choose the size of your font. If perhaps you can't see the font when you type it, it's possible that this font is way too large. You can select your color up here. I've chosen black. Decide what you want to do, which color you would like to select. You can move the direction of where everything is so that you can center things differently if you choose. You can right justify or left justify. I like centered. You can warp the text if you so choose, giving it kind of just, a more interesting effect. And you can choose how extreme you want that effect to look, kind of like word art in Word. Okay. And I also want to remind you that down here, very much like with the shapes, the effects tool allows you to add blending options, whether it be a drop shadow or bevel and emboss is one of my favorites to try and make things look like they're kind of coming off the page a bit. You can add a stroke or a drop shadow, but usually those are kind of default to black. Wouldn't really show up a whole lot against the black text here. So next I want to show you that in addition to doing the horizontal type, you can do vertical type, meaning you can draw a type up and down. So I'm going to say student planner. And again, once you hit the move tool, you can move this. You can add any kind of effects that you want. If you would like to change the color of the font, to go back into the text tool, back into that layer. And highlight it so that you're able to change it. And unfortunately, I've made two more text layers, which I'm going to delete. It's good for you to see those mistakes. So you can go in there. Okay, there we go. I click the box, it's highlighted, and now I could change that color, perhaps to red, if I so choose. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is these next two tools. We're just going to use the horizontal mask, but the horizontal and vertical mask allow you to kind of create almost like an outline of text, so that way you could bring colors, you could bring pictures, you could bring anything through there. But before I actually draw that, I want to hit undo for just a second, or step backwards. Nope. And I want to actually make a new layer. Very important. Make a new layer before you do this. Okay, so it's not on the same layer as your other type. So now I'm going to type the 2012, to 2013. And from here, when I go back to my move tool, notice that this turns into little marching ants. And so it's just an outline or a shell of the text. So now I can put things or pull things through there. I'm going to use the gradient tool. And so from here, just like with the brushes and the shapes and the other things I showed you, there are a bunch of different kinds of gradients that you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and choose metals. And I'm going to choose this black metal here. And I'm going to just simply draw across there. And that has now created my gradient within that text. And to get rid of those marching ants, I always go back to something that uses marching ants and click off of it. Now notice that this text tool over here is its own layer. It's not a text layer, it's a regular or what's called a rasterized layer. And what that means is even though you see text or numbers there, it doesn't actually operate like a text layer. It operates like a picture or like an image or like a graphic itself. So for me to go in and change this 2012 to 2013, I actually need to delete this layer and retype it in. It's not something that I could potentially go back and do or go back and fix. Alright, so this was just a review for you of how to bring text in with this text tool here. Change your fonts, change your font size, justify, color change, word art. Down here using your effects, a reminder of that, and also with what I just showed you using one or both of the mask tools depending on which direction you want your text to then add in a gradient. So I hope you will keep all of these tools and ideas in mind as you put together your project, your student planner for the month. And I wish you luck.